Hey everyone, Crazy Horse 6 here, bringing you another video by request. This one, I think after Enemy Buster Day, Capital Wars, some people are curious, especially when we have zombie invasion as well. What are we talking about when we talk about setting your defensive lineup, putting squads on your wall, taking squads off your wall? How does that work? Why are we doing it? So a couple things. Generally, and this is going to work if you are right now just a lower power player, which is fine. Everyone is valuable, everybody participates and earns points for the alliance, and lower power players certainly have their place on the battlefield and help the alliance out. But if you are a lower power player, say level 22, 23, 24, and below, when you tend to have the higher, you know, you get the level 26, 27s, 28s jumping into a hive. It's really hard to defend your wall against squads that are going to be 10, 11, 12 million power and above. And so at that point, you will lose fewer troops if you just pull all the troops off your wall, let them port you. And this is why we always say you need to put a shield up as well. But if you're in a situation where maybe we're in a capital war, you've ported into the mud, and so you can't have a shield up, you'll lose less troops if you don't have your squads defending the wall against significantly more powerful squads that will just burn through all your troops all at once. So, as an example, my first squad can hold 1,900 troops. It is sitting at a little over 11 million power. Now, if they are on the wall and they're defending against someone like Barrow, who jumps in and starts torching me with, 15, 16 million powered squad, every time he attacks, I'm going to lose 1,900 troops out of my first squad if they're manning the wall. And that'll quickly deplete my drill ground. Whereas if these guys aren't defending, that's 1,900 less troops that he's killing. Now, you'll still lose some troops. Some of your troops in your drill ground will still die every time you get attacked and you lose, but it's not going to be as bad. However, if you are a higher ranking player, you have some squads that, are heavy hitters, 11 million. I think my second squad, I've done some reconfiguring, about 8 million as I'm working out my way on the all air squad. I feel more confident in having these troops defending the wall against other commanders, especially my air squad. As I get these guys up to 9 or 10 million, hopefully by the hero advancement day of this week's versus battle, I've chosen all air because helicopters have a 20%, or is it 20%? I think it's a 20% boost against tanks. Since most people, their main attacking squad, their first squads are tanks, if I have these guys as my primary defense, then they're going to have a 20% boost against other people's main squad. So if I can get these guys to 10 million, they're probably going to get a pretty good chance of successfully defending against up to a 12 million power tank squad. So that's kind of the background calculus you have to use, and you're the only one who can decide whether you are comfortable having your squads on the wall or not. To set your lineup, though, you click the wall, you click the little home button, and this tells you who you've got available and whether you want them to join the defense. So as I mentioned before, my second squad, because they're all air and because most people attack with all tanks, I've actually set them as my first line of defense. They're the first ones up in terms of defending. And I still have my first squad joining the defense because if a very powerful squad does attack, wipes out my second squad, my first squad hopefully will be able to kind of clean up the rest. If you successfully repel an attack with the squads that are manning your wall, then you won't have any degradation in your wall status. The only time your wall status starts to get damaged and you get set on fire is when an attack destroys all of the squads that are currently on your defense, which is why when you uncheck all of these, you have no squads on defense. That's why the very first attack immediately takes 10,000 points or 1,000 points off of your wall integrity, and every attack after that will remove 1,000 points from there. So in theory, just 10 attacks without any squads in your wall, and you're getting ported. If I have my squads join, it'll take a lot longer for them to port me. Because the squads will defend, and in theory, if I'm able to repel a couple of those attacks, then my wall doesn't, my base doesn't burn, my walls don't degrade, and I don't get ported. And you can bump people up and down just by clicking the arrows. So this is why I have second squad defending. Now for zombie invasion, there's been some talk about having your second squad defend versus your first squad. I've done a bunch of research on this. I can't find a good reason why that's the case. When it comes to zombie invasion, I always have my first squad attacking because they have the most hit points. You typically have the highest attack and defense value, and it'll result in fewer troops lost and need to be healed after every attack in zombie invasion. So I will flip this up for zombie invasion, have my first squad defending. My second squad will remain. So as you get to the later rounds, and this is maybe one of the reasons why some people can't get past level 16 or 17, in level 2 of Zombie Siege, I believe it's like starting at wave 16, you start to get attacked by 2 squads of enemy zombies, which means you need to have 2 squads on the wall to defend the attack simultaneously. And I think that's maybe where some people go wrong. I know for tonight, when we do the zombie invasion, I will be sending out because I know I can repel all 20 attacks at level 2 with just my first and second squad alone. So I'll be sending out my third and fourth squad to help garrison other people and try to get more people across that line so that we can unlock level 3. That's it. Again, this was a request. Let me know if there are other topics you want me to cover, because it's great to have the ideas. I especially, I know if people are requesting these topics, I know they'll actually watch the videos. So that's all for now.